Thursday night, here we are again. Hey man, this damn background.
Hire a carpenter.
We gotta do something about this. We've been doing a few episodes now, and this damn background.
Yeah, turn on the heater.
They heard you.
Yeah. We're working on that. We should have a better background around here sooner, guys. Sooner or later, guys. If this is your first time joining us, GameSlean TV is a weekly news and review show. Every week we review the latest games and bring you the latest news. Let's get right to it here. Let's get everybody introduced, get the show rolling. My name is Chris, and I am your host. To my right, on the co-host sofa, we got a full deck. Steve.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Let's go. Next guy.
His right is Josh.
I'm on the couch!
On the couch now, our principal consulting producer.
Look at that shirt he's wearing.
Yeah.
Amazing.
T-Fury, everybody. Look him up.
Yeah, thanks for spamming us all with that shirt when you saw it online.
I put it on one Instagram thing. I posted one Instagram picture.
You spammed me, Josh.
You just love checking my account.
Shut up, Tomb. It's my turn.
I'm on your account right
we've
now.
got Jeff.
We got a match. Look at this. We're like a bee. We got a nice theme going here.
Jeff,
Right.
can I just say you're
on
looking...
production.
Wait, Jeff, can I just tell Jeff that he's...
No, you
Jeff
can't
looks
say anything, Tom.
extraordinarily
You're talking to
handsome.
Xander now.
Yeah, what did he
No,
say?
I'm not.
Go ahead.
Wow.
That's what he said.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Cool. Over on production,
crap
we've got Xander.
Yeah.
There he is.
Nice. Doing everything over there.
Doing nothing over here.
Over on co-production, we've got Nick.
Josh.
We've got Nick.
Josh Barnett.
Twice in a row now. What's
2.0.
going on? What's that?
Not exactly. That's all right.
Well, okay.
The graphic says Nick, so we know the truth.
That's Nick on co-production. He's not going to say anything, but
All right, now let's start the show.
Anyways, moving on to the news.
All right.
last but not least,
Remotely
Remotely
via
via
Skype from
Skype.
all the way from Los
course.
Angeles, California.
yes,
Santa
remotely, as always, Tom.
Dun,
Doom.
dun, dun,
In here.
dun.
What is that?
There it is. I'm here.
Man, these introductions.
California.
Introductions are the best.
Yeah.
There it is. I'm pretty hungry. I could really use some dinner right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Too bad. I can't eat until this.
He's
this
dedicated.
This
is what
thing's
he's
in the
saying. He's
can.
dedicated.
All right. Well, that's
I'm
good.
dedicated. I'm dedicated here. Let's go.
You can go down to.
All right. Let's slide right
No
over.
fat,
right
no
on
fat.
over. News of the week. What do we got here? Okay. To start things off, Cliff Bleszinski. Now, those of you who are familiar with Cliff, he's worked at Epic for a long time.
Xander knows him really well.
He left Epic though last October. He's really famous for his work on Gears of War, the Unreal games. We finally got a bit of news on what he's been up to, so he showed us this image here today on Twitter. He says this is a cropped image there. It says copyright Cliff Bleszinski down in the lower left.
Those rocks
You
are
can see there,
floating,
but
aren't they?
not really sure what's going on here, but he says this is part of some type of project he's been working on.
This looks
So-
like concept art.
Now, are those draw distance errors or is that
It's
floating
like
rocks?
snow. Oh wait,
Yeah.
that's
That's a good point. I don't know.
Avatar?
Floating rocks is cool. And is that guy carrying a bazooka?
It's a
That's what it
big
looks like to
gun.
me.
Can't really tell what it is.
Whatever
Water
it is.
effects look.
I'm intrigued. Because I'm not a fan of Gears of War, really. And I know everybody loves it, but I never cared. But this looks cool. I'm excited about that.
It's an MMO.
Oh, you think so?
Why do you think it's an MMO?
Because
I
it
don't
has
know.
it has an
Throw it out
open-looking
there.
world.
it does have that look, but
Yeah,
But there's
maybe.
only one person.
it's too early to
It
tell.
looks like future Skyrim,
So it's not
kind of.
massively multiplayer.
Could be anything, I guess, right?
Yeah, it's way too early to tell.
It could be a game.
Might be like
For
Tetris.
It
sure.
could be a game. Yeah, it could very well be a game.
The new Tetris.
So there you go. He's been working on something. So we'll just have to wait and see what if he releases anything next, or just watch Twitter. I'm sure he'll have some more news about it when he's got more to share. But there you go. Looks cool. Not sure what it is, but we'll see. Moving on. All right. Yeah. Phil Fish throws a temper tantrum on Twitter and cancels FEZ II. Now this
Big
this released-
surprise.
Yeah, what a surprise.
This released last week. late last week.
I'm Phil Fish.
So
Nobody
let me give,
praised me.
let me give some background on this. A while ago, Microsoft announced self-publishing for the Xbox One. Actually, pretty recently they announced it. So it's going to cost around $100, and then you can develop your indie games on your Xbox One. So every Xbox One essentially becomes a dev unit.
Net Eurosa.
Oh yeah?
It's going to be a white Xbox One
Oh right.
to to complement the black PlayStation 1
There you go.
from 19 whatever year it was.
Now,
91 was it?
the press had asked Mr. Fish here and also Jonathan Blow, the guy who did Braid. They had asked him for some thoughts on that because being high-profile indie guys, they might have some interesting thoughts on that whole thing. And so, let's see. Apparently they got both of them, Fish in particular though, apparently both Jonathan Blow and Phil Fish there got really uppity at the press would have the nerve to ask them these things. So later on last week...
don't ask the indie developers a question about indie games.
Yeah, geez.
God forbid.
Yeah.
Fast forward to about a week ago on the Game Trailer show, Invisible Walls, Marcus Beer, the annoyed gamer rather, had some choice comments about both of these guys, but Fish in particular. He called both of these guys hipsters, and then he called Fish actually an effing a-hole, which started this whole wave of Twitter fury. And then at the end of it,
Wave of emotion.
At the end of it, Mr. Fish kind of went a little bit nuts, and then he said, "All right, that's it. FEZ 2's canceled." Locked his Twitter account, and that's it. No FEZ 2 for anybody.
No money for him.
So
No.
Yeah,
Good.
such an overreaction.
Tough. I'm looking at the Twitter now, okay? First of all, it's not one final tweet because he tweeted afterwards some weird sticky wrestler thing expanding and they look like wrestlers. It was cool. But, so long suckers. As if now we're really going to feel it because he's not going to make a game because I'm so important that I made FEZ.
Yeah.
So what?
Now, if
To
any
be
of you,
honest, I didn't
You made
play
a
this.
video
Have
game.
you guys played this game?
I want to play. I saw the Super Meat Boy documentary, and
I
like
did too.
that's kind of how I found out about FEZ.
Me
and
too.
it-
And I went and looked for the
Okay.
game.
And the
as soon
game
as I
looks
saw that
awesome.
movie. I played it. It's great. It's cool. But
Yeah,
you know what?
it's
I'm
a
not
really
gonna
cool
lose
game.
sleep over this
Oh
guy.
yeah. I don't know.
You
I
know
mean,
what
even
I
in the
mean?
documentary, he was like whining the whole time. Like,
Yeah.
this is not uncommon behavior for this dude.
Yeah,
like,
he thinks he's very important.
so
It looks cool.
It's a fun game. It's
I know,
like a
it looks
puzzle.
awesome.
I didn't
It's
get
like
a
a
chance to
puzzle.
play it, but it's
I
no
mean, I guess
Super
it
Meat
stinks.
Boy.
It stinks that there will be
It's
no
certainly
FEZ
no
2
Booger
'cause
Man.
this looks awesome. But yeah, Booger Man.
But yeah,
Toe Jam and Earl.
no sequel. I'm not. Yeah, like everyone else, I'm not gonna lose
So
sleep
what?
over it.
So then it's
I mean,
one game that was good.
Good
You
riddance
can
to
make a
bad
sequel,
company. You know,
Exactly.
later.
Whatever. Like, you know what?
And he can go whine and work for somebody now.
A year
Yeah.
from now, there's going to be some new hot indie developer, and he's going to
Yeah.
come up with the next
Right.
big indie game that's going to be like awesome.
Right.
So
Well,
whatever.
now he's Canadian, correct?
And it wasn't even like it was a big deal. It
No.
barely got released. Like it took forever for him to get it to work, according to the movie.
Yeah. So
And then it
he's
didn't
not even
come
good
out,
at
didn't
games.
come out, didn't come out.
He's not even good at making
He
games.
made a good game, and it took him forever because he did it all by himself, and he was anal retentive about it. And then he's like, now I'm not going to make a game. Well, good. Don't make a game. So what? like,
I mean, that's how it goes. Too bad.
yeah, I mean, come on. If you're going to be a baby about it, then no one's going to care. You know, and you're shooting yourself in the foot because you're a video game developer, and now I'm not going to make games. Well, that's good. Go work at Markets Basket.
Market's bad.
Markets Basket.
Market-
Canada.
go work at Markets
Whatever
Basket.
thing they have. What is Tom saying?
Go work at Markets Baskets.
Markets Basket of Montreal.
Montreal.
Bonjour.
So there you go.
Bienvenue à Markets Basket.
Hey,
I made a
I've
video
got-
game. Did you hear about it? No. F you. I'm going to cry.
If Phil Fish really wants to be, if he really wants to be multicultural, I mean, I know that he's French Canadian. I'm gonna issue him a Japanese statement today and say "Sayonara, sucker."
Yeah. Good.
Yeah,
That's
good
what there is to say about
Zing.
that.
That's a shame,
good.
but too bad. I mean, some people they take this. I mean, I agree. So that's from Marcus. I'm a fan of both Annoyed Gamer and the other show on Game Trailers, the Pack Attack. Great show. I like both those guys. But yeah, I mean, Marcus definitely called them out there, and probably contributed to that pretty heavily. But that's how it is. You got to be able. You got to have thick skin, I think, a little bit if you're going to be.
Yeah, you can't be sensitive.
Yeah.
If anything you make, even if you make a song, you make a movie or whatever, people aren't gonna like it. And if you whine about it, you worry about it so much, then you're gonna paralyze yourself from doing anything good. You just need to do what you want to do, and if it's good, people will like it. If it's not, try again. But you can't take it personally. You know what I mean?
Right.
Even if it's good, there's gonna be people that don't like it. I mean, Fez was pretty well received, and
Just like this
I mean, he
show.
still got critics,
That's right. Yeah.
So whatever.
I know. And then, to be whiny and emotional about it is just sort of, I'm
Childish.
fine. The guy's,
It's like,
if he's a high emotion kind of guy, okay, well, that's his
Yeah.
personality. But, it sounds like he's full of himself. It's Like, I made this game. It's like not like he made the best game in the world or something. Has he won a game of the year? Not that
What
that
are the
means
games
He
anything.
takes a lot of pride in his
know
work.
what?
I guess
What other
that's
games has he
Nothing.
You
He's
know?
made nothing else. It took him like 9 years to make that one FEZ game.
yeah.
made? Yeah.
Fez
know,
was good. We
and it's a
can't,
good
we can't
game,
say
right.
It's good.
It's
But
cool,
just
it's bright,
to get
it's
all
colorful, it's awesome.
emotional over this. Just
And
over.
you, yeah.
He's an artist, not
he
a game
definitely
developer.
is an artist.
He's an
It's
artist.
Not a game
Yeah.
developer. He's an
Yeah.
artist.
You know,
So-
and by contrast, it's funny if you watch that documentary. The guys in Meat Boy were awesome. They made a game. They were really excited, but they were nervous if it was going to get picked up. And they made a good game, and it got bought by everybody, and everybody thought it was awesome. You know, instead, this other guy, if we again go by the documentary, he was, you know, making the game. I'm making a game, and it's good. And now I'm not going to make it like that. I have to make it this other way, and I have to do this, and I'm going to do it all by myself. No one's going to help me. It's like, so just make your game, you know. And
Right.
it's- whatever. Sorry.
Yeah.
Bothers me when people make a big deal about themselves. So
And Timo certainly did.
yeah.
Well, it's too bad. If
I'm
you're
a
looking
news.
forward to FEZ 2, it doesn't look good.
Not
Sorry,
gonna
guys.
No
happen.
FEZ 2 for you until he makes FEZ 2 because
Yeah, until somebody
Until he
obviously
changes his
steps
mind.
in
Right,
and offers
exactly.
some money,
Until he realizes
offers
he
some
can
money,
make
and
some
it'll
money.
do it.
yeah.
Okay.
It'll still
moving on.
happen. So whatever.
Good. What's next, Chris?
Next news item: Batman: Arkham Origins.
This is
The
cool.
next one coming out for in the, this
Batman.
whole new Batman series with Arkham Asylum, Arkham City that we saw last year, a couple years ago. We're getting multiplayer. Here it is. So called Invisible Predator Online. This new multiplayer mode for Arkham Origins is a 3 versus 2. You have three members from the Joker's gang, 3 from Bane's gang, and 2 people get to play as Batman and Robin. About halfway through each match, Joker and Bane themselves actually become playable. So somebody from each side has to go to a door and let them out. If you're the one that gets to the door and gets them activated there, you get to play as them. So
Is this a standalone or is it add on to another game?
this is going to be part of Arkham
Part
Origins.
of Arkham Origins. Okay.
Yes. So there's a separate studio developing this, but it's going to be included with the main game.
Okay.
Right.
Oh, I see.
Well, it's a separate studio because it's already a different studio doing Origins. So
From the last one?
yeah, well,
Okay.
it's because they're going to work on like the true next gen one, and the people who ported Arkham City to the Wii U, the Armored Edition, that was kind of like the game they were using to like test the waters, and now they're making this game.
Yeah.
I think it looks good. Just heard about the multiplayer. I don't know
sounds
how
cool.
I feel about it. It seems like a unique idea, but I feel like it's
Not needed.
yeah. I didn't think the game required multiplayer. I think it was
Yeah, I think there's.
all.
But you don't require an iPhone, but you use it and
I don't have an
enjoy it.
iPhone.
Well, you
I mean,
do, 'cause you're-
multiplayer is always a nice perk, though. You know, like it's
It is.
always like just added. You know,
It is a nice perk unless it takes away development
Yeah, like
time
they
from the
used
single
they
player.
could put a
game.
multiplayer on a Metal Gear game at one point, didn't they?
Yeah,
for-
Metal
Or
Gear
Splinter
Solid
Cell.
4.
Splinter Cell. It was.
Yeah, Metal Gear had multiplayer as well.
One on
Metal Gear Solid
handheld,
4.
I don't know
Yeah,
about-
Metal Gear Online.
I remember
Oh,
there
yeah,
was something
online,
like
yeah.
Splinter Cell or something like an online, and it was terrible. I was like, why is this even a thing? But like, you know, there's that, and then like everything seems to have a multiplayer, and sometimes it's bad. But that idea, I think, sounds really cool.
that is cool.
You know,
Yeah,
you've got your
it'll-
two
sounds
heroes
fun.
who's
Sounds
going to fight
fun.
an army of guys that are actually controlled by actual people. So that actually that sounds pretty cool. And then you get your hero. The bad guys get their hero level up or perk or whatever you want, like Warcraft. Like we're
Right. So
saying.
when
You know,
Bane and
so-
Joker themselves hit the map,
Now, what
they're-
happens if
they're-
you
they're
beat
super
those
powerful.
guys? Right, but if you beat Bane and Joker, is that the point of the round to
I
beat
believe
them,
it's
or
a checkpoint or it's a like control
or
point.
can they
type
be
of thing
respawned
where-
later somehow?
Yeah, Batman and Robin only have a certain number of spawn points, so I think
Okay.
you're trying to eat away at the other team's
At the
spawn
gang,
points, and
right.
there's control
Right.
areas. So you're trying to control points of the map, and if the enemy controls them, you lose spawn points there as well.
Okay.
Yeah, I
Nothing's
can't say
necessary.
really at
But
any
it sounds
point
cool.
when I was playing the first game, Arkham Asylum or Arkham City, I was never sitting there at any point saying that this should have multiplayer. That would be really cool. But
Right.
this 3 versus 2 mode does sound interesting.
Well, I'm
Yeah.
glad they gave it a cool premise instead of just like a basic like death match or just a basic King of the Hill. So I mean,
Right, because I guess the alternative would have been Batman, Robin, Joker, and Bane, and you can only do 4 people at a time.
yeah,
And that's kind of boring. So
we'll see. I mean, I'm gonna play it anyways because I think the main game will be awesome. So hopefully it's just a nice added perk.
Oh, and this
Yeah.
is we're just talking
It's
about
like-
the multiplayer aspect of an entire game.
Yeah, right.
And this is a
That's
side
what was
note.
announced.
Kevin Conroy isn't voicing Batman, correct?
Really?
Is he not
No,
voicing
I don't
Batman
think
in
he's
this
doing
game?
it in this one.
Was he the
That's
one
what
that
I
did the
heard.
last two?
Yeah,
It
he
sounded,
did the
it
last.
sounded
It's
like
Kiefer
always,
Sutherland.
yeah, he
Sounded
always
like
does
it.
Batman.
It sounded like him in that trailer. I'm not sure. I didn't see any notes on that.
Batman.
It's not Christian Bale.
Shia LaBeouf.
Definitely not Christian Bale.
That Christian Bale.
All the
voice.
time.
I'm not the one wearing hockey pads. I don't care. I like Christian Bale.
It was, he was a good
Totally
Batman.
terrible.
You can't
Yeah.
complain
What the
about
hell was that?
it. What, the voice?
All right,
It
this
was
is
a little much.
It's completely forced.
This
Like,
is a whole
come on.
nother episode, but
Yeah.
it's
He's
a
not-
little
not
ridiculous,
as
but
good
it
as
made
Michael
sense
Keaton.
because he had to hide his voice so people
Yeah, he
can
has
recognize
to-
him as Bruce Wayne.
Yeah, I mean, he's got to have some more
Fine.
disguise.
And he played a good billionaire playboy.
It worked out.
Whatever.
It worked out.
Boogerman
Still
rules.
don't like. Still don't
Christian
like.
Bale.
Boogerman rules.
Christian Bale, however, is a
Yeah, and
dingus.
Boogerman is awesome.
that's the end of that.
I mean, he's a Hollywood
He
actor.
needs to not. He was in Newsies. He needs to go back to his Newsy days.
He was in
and
American
realize who he
Psycho.
is.
American
Yeah,
Psycho.
I didn't like that movie.
All right, let's hit our last.
Tom said something in there somewhere. I don't know what.
All right, Coom, what do you have to
What
say
did you
about this?
say?
I was just weighing in saying that I prefer Michael Keaton as Batman.
Yeah, of
Yeah,
course
of
you
course,
do.
of course.
'Cause you're an old school guy.
He's a better Batman. I liked him more as the
You
character.
didn't enjoy George Clooney and Arnold?
Well, Arnold never played Batman. So
No, but and Arnold, his
Time
counterpoint.
kicks
in
some
that
ice.
movie, yeah.
all right, Gotham, time to
I
chill.
think that was a good dynamic as far as.
Dude, the best part of that movie, sorry, I'm going off tangent, but they slide on the ice and they click their boots and little ice skates. They're like,
No way,
they're like,
no place like home. No place like ice skating.
hockey players from hell, Batman.
We actually have we have a weigh-in from Sergeant Ski saying that Adam West was the best Batman.
Get on the
There
camera.
we go. Yeah, Adam West.
What are you looking
What
at?
about Adam West? Adam West is listening to the show tonight.
Adam
No.
West is the best Batman. Cesar Romero was the best Joker.
Oh
Move
my
on.
Gosh.
No, you're an idiot. Adam West was
All right, yes, let's hit our final news item here. Jeez, news is going to take like 3 hours at this
Hey.
rate. Our final news item this week, BioShock Infinite DLC was finally detailed this week. Now, we reviewed
Yeah.
BioShock Infinite here on the show, super high marks. BioShock Infinite was a totally incredible game. So let's see, the first piece of DLC is actually out already. It's titled Clash in the Clouds. You got a set of 4 combat arena maps, 15 waves of enemies each. So that's pretty straightforward stuff. That's available now. You can get that now. The next 2 pieces of DLC are actually the more interesting. We've got 2 episodes titled Burial at Sea. Now this is story DLC that sees the return of Elizabeth and Booker, but in Rapture, which as we all know is a setting for the first BioShock, and on New Year's Eve in 1958, which was right before Rapture imploded. So in this first episode, you'll get to play as Booker again, but in the second episode, you'll actually play as Elizabeth. They haven't released a lot of details, but they did mention that playing as Elizabeth is much different than playing as Booker. It's more, when you play as her, it's more about using the environment, setting traps, and less of an emphasis on guns. So
I like that.
no official word on
that's
release,
cool.
but it's expected this should be out this fall sometime.
So this is her in Rapture.
Yeah, that's her.
That's cool.
What
She
a
looks like a
classy
German
broad.
agent. It's a little bit, you know what I mean? Like,
If you watch the trailer, I think the
Frau
way they're
Fardissina.
setting this up is that Booker's in his office as some type of detective or PI or something.
Happens
He's a
to
private
be-
investigator.
She
Yeah.
comes to him with some type of job for him. So this definitely looks cool.
and this is
Gumshoe. type-
obviously
type
totally
role.
unrelated because
I'm curious to see whether or not if it's related. It'd be interesting how they tie it in, if it is indeed tied in.
what happened to you?
Get a little disheveled there.
No one cares what you're
I don't know,
saying
is
right
it-
now.
You guys start laughing. Then I was
Just all of
like,
a
what?
sudden. Oh my God! What happened?
Oh, that game looks really
I'm
good.
really excited about this one. He looked at.
Oh boy.
What's her name? He
Uh,
lost it.
I looked at Elizabeth and I was like, whoa!
She looks like a German agent.
My bros.
So,
Well,
yeah,
apparently,
we
if
got-
anyone who's watching or in the show, Rod Ferguson had something to do with it, and I have no idea who Rod Ferguson is.
Isn't
He's
Rod
very
Ferguson?
important.
Isn't
Apparently
Rod
very
Ferguson the name of
interesting
like
about
the?
his development?
Yeah.
in this-
Ferguson.
in
Wait,
this-
remember from
yeah, we were just
Clarissa
talking about
Explains It
Clarissa
All?
Explains It All. That's
There's actually an
Clarissa's brother,
episode
Ferguson.
in Clarissa Explains
right.
It All where Ferguson
That's
comes
right,
in
yeah.
comes
No.
into Clarissa's room and he's got smoke in his eyes. He's like, I just beat the first like the last level of Mega Man X or whatever. I don't know.
It was
It's
way
like,
before Mega Man X, I think.
yeah, it was like something about Mega Man. I just remember that. Next news
Off
segment.
tangent.
Chris
tangent.
doesn't know
No,
what we're talking about
I don't
anymore.
want. I don't want to cut you guys off, but that definitely looks awesome. I know the guys that have had because
yes.
they had a DLC season pass, which I think gets you 3 DLC episodes. So that's going to be your 3 right there: the Clash in the Clouds, and then the 2. What was it again? Burial at Sea DLC. So that's going to be it. I know the guys that have had that have been waiting for that for a while, and they haven't released a whole lot of details about it. So this is good. They finally released information on what it's going to be. It looks awesome. So be on the lookout for that. It's going to, get some more time to play BioShock Infinite, which is definitely awesome. One of the best games released all year. So that wraps it up for the news. Let's move on.
My point though.
Oh, yeah, you had one last thing.
one little thing that's not news, but I thought it was sort of ironic that yesterday I was thinking, why haven't they remade a flashback yet? Because everything else has been remade, and everything's redone. And then just tonight, as we sat down, I was like, let's see. And there it is. It's coming out apparently soon. So if
There you
you're
go.
excited about flashback, I'm excited about flashback. So
Although something else that came out like today or where, like what was it? I don't even remember. Elder
Oh yeah,
Scrolls
we
Anthology.
wanted
and we wanted to
to mention this as
talk about
well.
Elder
So here we
Scrolls.
go. So
not everything in the news.
They announced this at QuakeCon, I believe, because that's going on right now. They've got this new Elder Scrolls anthology. Now this is all 5 games, all the DLC, some
That's
actual
a
physical
big
maps
box of
here.
games.
Oh,
You can
yeah.
tell Jeff is chomping at the bit to talk about this.
It's yeah.
And I like this as well, even though I didn't
Yeah,
know
I'm not
about
even the biggest Elder Scrolls fan, but I think this is a good deal. What's coming out was, I'd say, September. It's $80. You're
And this
getting.
looks like it's a PC.
You're getting Elder Scrolls 1 Arena, Elder Scrolls 2 Daggerfall, Elder Scrolls 3 Morrowind with Tribunal and Blood Moon. Then you get 4 Oblivion with all
It's
the
everything.
DLC. Everything.
A lot of Elder
$80.
Scrolls.
$80 is less than I would expect to
That
pay for that as well.
that is hundreds of hours worth of
Oh
gameplay.
my God!
If you haven't
Your life
played
is over,
All the
Yeah.
Elder Scrolls.
and
We're
you're
gonna- we're gonna-
dedicated. if you
all
wanna
of
play
them. All of
scrolls.
them.
All of the scrolls have been found in this box.
And you get
for
maps
$80.
with it.
There they are.
Come down today.
Look,
We'll
you
find
get
Jeff's
maps.
body next year.
It's fun
Nice
packaging.
book.
If anything, if you're Elder Scrolls fans, it's just a nice collector's
Yeah.
thing too. I mean, you get all the games
Not
too.
a huge price for a lot of games.
No.
Let me
that's-
ask this: if someone was going to sit down, if someone's going to buy this thing and sit down, how long is it going to take someone to crank through all those?
all
How
of
old
them-
are they when they start?
18.
Well, wait, Chris, let me just put
25.
it. Chris, let me just put it to you this way: if you weren't a virgin before, you will be after you buy this.
And you have no
Oh.
chance because you're not going
Because
to
you
meet
have no
anybody.
chance anymore.
Yeah, you're
No.
not procreating.
No,
in
I
that
will
game.
say this: you could, in any of those games, you can go through the main story in 20-ish hours.
Yeah, but
the
nobody
real,
goes through the
But
main
the real
story.
meat of the
that's
story
not
is
really the point, though.
all the
I
si-
played Oblivion without playing the main story at all. Didn't even realize it
And
until I got to the end.
You could hit 100 hours in any of those games, not touch the main story.
Exactly.
That's very true. So you
I
could
still play Skyrim sometimes, and I've done
yeah,
everything.
you could play through them all. It would take you a long time, but if you literally sat down, tried to do everything in every single game, you'd be set for a while.
Yeah.
So,
I'm
80
thinking
bucks,
a
good
year.
purchase.
You
Oh,
can
yeah.
probably play
Easily,
through it if
easily.
you have, because you got to eat, you got to sleep, or you'll die.
That's a lot of Elder
That game will
Scrolls,
kill you.
personally.
Yeah, what did they
That's a
say?
lot.
What was the price on that?
80
$79.99, 80 bucks.
So
for
probably
that, you
84. with
Definitely get
taxes and
some
stuff.
bang for your buck there.
Yeah.
If you're
Pace
wanting,
yourself,
wanting
people.
to play Elder Scrolls. my
Pace
God.
yourself.
Take it one game at a time, guys.
That's right.
One game at a time.
Remember, go to the bathroom.
Prepare your diapers.
Oh,
You're not getting up.
Depends.
Okay, there you have it. That's going to do it for the news. Now, this week here, we're going to get to some games a little bit later on, but this week we're going to do something a little bit different. We've got a discussion point that we'd like to kind of discuss a little bit, so we'll just throw it out there and see where we go. Let's start it off then. We've got a discussion this week. We're going to talk about the use of post-apocalyptic worlds in video games, and is it been overused, not used enough? The whole zombie thing, is it played out? So time for everybody to weigh in. What does everybody think?
I'm gonna sum up my argument real quick. All right, yeah. I'm gonna sum up my argument real quick and say
We've been
no.
seeing a lot of this.
No,
lately.
Tom says no.
It's not overused.
But see, Tom, you have to remember, you live this stuff. You're kind of like, you've been watching zombie movies since you were 9.
I went to Las Vegas. I went to Las Vegas with Josh's brother last week, and we were in a car, and I slept in the desert on the ground. That's the post-apocalyptic wasteland. I was in heaven. Keep it coming. Make
so
more
you
of it.
like
I want
it.
50 games a year like that.
Oh, you're saying that there isn't too much.
And also, we have somebody in the forum right now, Tarsus, our friend Tarsus. She was also there to get vegan donuts and sleep in the desert, so well worth the trip.
Okay, that has nothing to do with what you're talking about, though.
I don't even what. Okay.
It's a post-apocalyptic setting. It was
That's
the
a
desert.
really bad segue.
I think post-apocalyptic settings are more in the mainstream now. It was a little
Yeah.
obscure before with the original Fallouts and even before that Wasteland.
Right.
Yeah, people know about those games now obviously because of Fallout 3 and Wasteland 2's coming out, but like it was kind of an obscure thing before. I mean, obviously you had the Dawn of the Dead series, but
the newer one. Well, you know what? At the same time, those weren't really post-apocalyptic. They were apocalypses happening.
Yeah, I suppose.
You know what I mean?
It's
Because
current apocalypse.
Because you've got Night of the Living Dead, it's just zombies running around, but there's still society happening.
Day
as
of
far
the
as
Dead,
know.
you could say, is post-apocalypse.
Okay.
Day of the Dead, yeah.
You know, I feel
But-
like Postman was written as a book in the 80s,
Postman?
way
Josh,
before it was made
Josh,
into a
would you
movie.
say The Postman?
The Postman, which
Postman?
was totally post-apocalyptic. It was
Yeah.
well after society had fallen.
But then society rebuilds itself in like 5 years and they make a statue of Kevin Costner.
In the movie, it's very different from the book. In the movie, it's very different.
Yeah.
And the movie came out way before. If you want to be, technical about it.
He's like, I delivered the mail and now society's fine again, guys.
Yeah, I mean that is the underlying premise of the book, but and they play it up a lot in the movie. A lot more happens in that book, but
Kevin Costner in
and
the book.
now we're getting very post-apocalyptic-y with zombies with Walking Dead because it's well after it's gone on.
Yeah, you got The Walking Dead, you got The Last of Us, you got the
Yeah.
TV show, and you got the video game, and then you got like Fallout. There's a lot.
Fallout, that's a good one. That's what I was trying to
Mainstream
think
media,
of.
I think mainstream media has done a really good job of latching on to the entire zombie
I don't know
thing.
why
It's been
people like
beating it into the ground.
My theory was that it's the Matrix. The first Matrix was too perfect, and so it's too. As everybody says, the economy's bad, and there's sort of a war going on, but it's kind of.
I
not
think
quite
people
what it
just
was.
like
love.
the
There's
subject-
nothing wrong. Nothing's
There's-
bad. So we need something wrong to.
Yeah. Well, people love to
Think about.
fantasize just bashing a zombie's head in.
Well, that's all right.
I'm
That's
saying
the
it's
thing.
the subject
I
of
think
the
it's
like
more
genre.
than
that.
just.
It's like
I think it's more than just fighting a guy without having any repercussions.
the
and
subject of the
killing
genre
somebody.
is just like it's like it's not real, and it's like it is cool to think about that kind of situation.
Yeah.
So it's like
I mean,
you
I
can make a video
personally-
game and you can do it. Like you can
Yeah.
live
You
through the
can
apocalypse.
live
Like
without having the war.
Right,
Yeah, that's definitely a big part of it, I think, because
Yeah.
even in the firearms community, we've seen a little bit like in these tough economic times, whereas some people,
Everybody thinks the government's going to come and take everything.
some people
It's
feel
like-
like, especially like they work like dead end job or where a job they don't like, post-apocalyptic
They could be a hero.
situation, they could just like wipe everything away, go out into the woods and just live, and then shoot zombies with like
Yeah.
no recourse or whatever.
I'm looking at bug out bags right now, and I think that's totally cool. I love the idea of having supplies
Plus,
that I need to have
on top
on
of
hand in case
on top
there's-
of the whole
in
subject
case
genre.
Independence Day happens.
There's the fact that there's The Walking Dead, and that's made like great success, like in not only
and
the video
that's
game
regular
world, but,
people watching it. That's not nerds necessarily.
But
Like,
so I mean, other companies can see this stuff too, and they're like, well, let's cash in, like like it's Walking Dead, zombies.
and I feel like it's
paycheck,
because
like-
there's nothing wrong.
That's a
with the
factor,
world.
but you'd also
It's too
think
safe.
too. Common
Yeah.
video game enemies, aliens and zombies, both easily go in with an apocalyptic setting. You could even say demons, because if any of those three things take over the world, you're in a post-apocalyptic setting. I mean, but I
Right.
feel like it's, I guess, more mainstream now, but it's been done in games before.
It's not.
I mean,
it's not really. Yeah, it's not
Yeah, it's
really.
nothing
play-
new.
Wasteland,
The
you know,
zombie thing is getting
Fallout,
played out,
Boogerman with the world
but not,
taking
not the
over.
post-apocalyptic.
Did you knock it off with that?
Yes.
What? Boogerman was a great
What
game.
about, what about
Moving on.
Boogerman?
Yeah, I mean the whole apocalyptic thing, that it's not a new genre, but it is. I feel like you start to notice it more and more.
I
That
think it's definitely gotten more mainstream.
Yeah.
recently.
Well, why do you guys think that is? I think that's the question, right?
because it's
I think
popular
the,
right
but
now.
I think
Well,
the
why is it
zombie,
popular?
the,
'Cause it
the
makes
zombie
money.
thing
The
is
Walking
getting more
Dead.
popular.
It makes
But not the
it's not-
post-apocalyptic. Like
Well, I'm saying
post-apocalyptic and
the
zombie
people
things
that
are
make
two
the
totally
games
different
are
things.
the ones that are trying to make the money. Like
Yes,
you
but
know,
they're
like-
not creating the popularity. The popularity comes from people
Why-
enjoying those things, and those
Yeah, I
guys
mean,
then
and
go,
they're
"Hey."
popular because and they make
But
money because they're
why-
popular.
why does
Because
the
I
public-
think people like to fantasize about, like I think it was already said that like
About
You know,
smashing
people
a
like
guy?
have these. What?
About smashing a guy?
Well, I think that's kind of part, but people have these work odd jobs and thing, and then this is finally where they can.
It's sort of an excitement.
Yeah, it's
Sort
just
of.
totally different.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'd
Taking
rather,
care of things on your own and not having to be.
I'd rather live in
Yeah.
a fantasy setting than a post-apocalyptic one, to be honest.
I think about Fallout all the time.
Yeah, I
though,
think you ought
and
to,
I
too.
love the idea of like there being so much less
Desert.
people,
Yeah.
so much lower population for some reason. I don't know why. Maybe I'm terrible, but like, you know what I mean? I don't. That's sort of appealing. Like the idea of like just being like when I was playing Last of Us, and you get out towards the west. You know what I mean? And you're in the woods and stuff. It's like nice and cool and.
Yeah, it's just nothing.
There's no people.
Maybe a little bit of
But even when
wildlife.
you're in the city, it feels the same way. It's like it's quiet. You got to worry more about like the fungus and the spores and stuff. But out in the woods, it was like nice. There's no people out there, and you know that there's no people in the cities either. It's like and every once in a while you might have to fight off, something. It sort of brings back the natural world. It brings us down from the highest pedestal, where it's safe. Because even though you've got guns, you only have so many bullets, and there's so many more of them. It's like I think it's a natural thing for us to deal with hardship, and deal with a situation that is different, to have to live through something hard, because when it gets easy, you get bored. And even though, like, I could tell you this just from normal everyday, I have ADD and I think everything's boring. So as soon as something exciting happens, I'm like, haha, you know what I mean? But everybody probably has a little bit of that in them. When you think back from evolution, we were running away from things and fighting and scrapping and killing to just stay alive. And now we're like a freaking swarm, and it's like, there's always going to be a lot of us, so we've got to come up with something that can beat us. And I think that's why people like it, because they need a counterpoint to what their dreary life is. You know what I mean?
I think
Yeah,
that's.
makes sense.
Very depressed
I
now.
think that's my why. It's exciting. Get a bug out bag.
All right.
Get it all prepared. We'll start digging a bunker. GameSlean.
Yeah,
Annex.
you've convinced me, Chris. Buy the ammunition.
I think some of those abandoned missile silos out west are still for sale.
Are you? Yeah, I know. I love that. I was like, I would do that, but if they're in the middle of nowhere, you have to have.
That's where we should broadcast from.
It would be
Let's
great.
move out west.
Chris,
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's do it.
rub your pennies together.
Come on.
Let's go to Nebraska.
Well, you
I'm
never know.
sure there's an ICBM bunker somewhere down there.
Come on, weather control device.
130-foot tall subterranean tower.
You never know.
It'd be awesome. We can restart society. We need to get some women. Who wants to come
all right.
with us?
So
We
this
don't need
doesn't
that at all.
show. This doesn't show any signs of slowing down. I don't know. I think it's just going to be zombies. Same thing for the
Zombies,
foreseeable
Fallout.
future. Yeah.
Zombies, Fallout, Madden, Zombies, Fallout, Madden, Fallout.
But we'll
Halo.
Don't forget
Halo.
I don't know.
modern-
I think it's going to
modern
burn out
warfare.
eventually. Like TV, I think it's on. If you look at it, oh, Revolution also. We've completely forgot about it. Actually,
Revolution.
it's not a very good show, but I enjoy it. That's not zombies. That's just plain old post-apocalyptic, which I think is sort of ridiculous, because if we didn't have electricity, I don't think it would get as bad as that show depicts it as. I mean, there was a lot going on in America and the world before electricity. I think we'd be okay, but unless there was a major war, I guess. But nothing would work, so it would be good. But that's NBC. That's not even like a cable network. That's mainstream TV, and it was doing pretty well as far as I could tell. I don't know. I think people like that. I guess that's all there is to say.
It's part of the social consciousness now.
I
Everybody
wonder though.
wants
I do wonder when it's
post-apocalyptic
going to
stuff.
end, because I've noticed this, and I wonder when is it going to be that
The world or the whole?
no, the whole fad.
Not soon enough.
When's it going to
Yeah,
go back
just dead
down to
sooner.
being like a subgenre? When is it going to be not like something that everybody? Everybody's got
Send
zombie
the money to my grave.
books, the survival guide to zombies.
Yeah, I
it's
think
all
I saw
fun,
in a
but
store
like
somewhere where they set it up.
yeah, like Barnes and Noble has a whole thing.
They set it up like he had like the survival kits, like
Yeah.
he had like axe. I think
Well,
it was like in a Walmart or a Target.
Oh,
somewhere.
an actual like,
yeah, they
axe.
set it up so it was like a survival kit.
That's
or something
cool.
Like that.
Yeah.
Well, like Tom was saying earlier, the whole zombie thing, it comes in waves, like the popularity of it, and like it was really popular before our time, and like.
Every decade has their whole apocalyptic zombie thing going on. We just happen to be encountering that right now.
Maybe it's just more intense because there's more of us and more ways to talk about it publicly.
Yeah, I think with social media and the internet, all that stuff, it's more prevalent now.
Yeah. The next thing's going to be...
It's always there.
And I guess it already is here, is superheroes are the next thing. Right, Jeff?
Yeah.
Raccoons.
Yeah, Rocket Raccoon.
Guardians of the Galaxy.
Let's get on to the next.
Guardians of the Galaxy is going to be great, guys.
I don't know.
It is.
All right, well, we got to wrap up.
What do you think,
Paul
Josh?
McCartney's going to sing about it.
That's a different discussion. Save that for possibly next week.
Yeah.
That's gonna wrap
next
up
week, tune in for the Battle Royale. Jeff and Josh talk about the points of whether or not Guardians of the Galaxy is worth seeing.
Yeah.
To answer your question, yes,
which
it
you
is.
sort of touched on the pre-show episode
Which
last week,
there is an
which
audio
is up on our
clip.
YouTube channel, so check it out.
Is there video with that, or is it just audio?
There was no video of it.
So what did you put up
the
for
audio? The audio
to
was
look
there
at?
in its entirety.
What are we looking
at? It starts
at?
off with you throwing a fit about Zac Efron being in Star Wars.
Oh yeah!
So check out
stupid article.
So check out that audio clip
Oh,
on our
no.
YouTube channel. It's all there.
He's gonna sing and
for
dance.
your listening enjoyment. But that's going to wrap up our discussion topic that week. We'll see how things go. If we have a slow week like this week, we might do these types of things. But we'll start a discussion, have each of us weigh in. But that's going to wrap it up for this week. I'd like to move on to our. We do have some actual reviews this week.
Oh jeez, completely forgot.
I mean,
Yeah.
just to go back to the whole discussion point. I mean, like our viewers. I mean, to write comments of like what you think.
Yeah,
about,
tell us
you
what
know.
you think about zombies, Fallout,
What do you?
the end of the world. The end of
Yeah,
life.
and just like Phil Fish, if we think that you're wrong or you say bad
we'll
things,
whine about it and we'll tell you you can't make a sequel comment.
Then we're
If you-
shutting it down.
That's it.
Yeah,
GameSlean is over.
Yeah, we don't like that.
Yeah, we'll be like Phil Fish. If you make fun of us, we'll quit.
Watch it. Somebody might want
Watch
us to quit.
It's definitely a possibility. But yeah, let's move on to our two games. We're gonna do something similar to what we did last week. We don't have full blown reviews for the couple games we're gonna be talking about this week, but it is slow. There's not a whole lot of stuff coming out
Nothing
lately.
big.
Yeah, nothing really big. That should pick up in the next couple weeks, and then before we know it, we'll be in September, and the holiday releases will start rolling out here. But the first game here that we're gonna talk about, we've got this game. We're gonna talk about Ride to Hell Retribution.
Never heard of it.
Now, I was fortunate to be able to play this game and get through it all. Actually, so
You played the whole thing?
Can we run the gameplay footage for it, please? So here we go. And if you've heard of this game already, chances are it's because of the low review scores that everybody who's seen it
Never
and
heard of
played
either
it
of
have
those
been
developers.
Giving it. All anyone's been doing has been talking about how terrible this game is. So I want to get one thing out of the way. The game does have issues, and it has a lot of them actually. But I think some of the critics were a little bit too hard on this title. People were reporting bugs, glitches, crashes, continuity errors, and all that type of stuff. I did see some of those, but I think I played it on PC, and I think I avoided a lot of those things. One of the things people complained about right off the bat, so during the intro movie, it jumps from like about 3 to 4 different sections, like straight out of the gate, and it makes you play them. So everybody that played it said, "Oh, I just did this, and now I'm on something else. This doesn't make any sense. What's going on here?" But if you were paying attention, the game actually
100%.
makes you play the intro on this thing, and that's what it does. It jumps from piece to piece. It's different parts of the game all in one thing, and it's just making you play it. So it's not a huge deal. I mean, another thing they said was you die for no reason all the time. And after playing the game, I can see why they would say that. But when you die in this game, you just got to kind of pay attention because if you die in this game, it's usually because the enemies killed you or because you screwed up a timed section of the game where there was a time limit. Because a lot of times it's not always obvious. Like,
So are the instructions not so clear at the beginning of whatever it is you're about to play, and then people died not knowing that was the... Is that what you're saying?
I think the mistake was that a lot of times it'll feel like you just died out of nowhere and you didn't know what was going on. But it's really a lot of things in this game are delayed. So I want to get into
It sounds very difficult to play. I'm wondering why they're complaining about it.
The two words I'll use to describe this game are clunky and budget. Everything in this game feels like
I love budget stuff.
Just budget everything, and the gameplay in general is just clunky. So
The graphics they look like they have highly detailed skins on really bad frames.
Sergeant Ski says it looks like Sons of Anarchy.
I think that's why.
That's probably what they were going for here.
So
It's not a game; it's a show.
Yeah.
On
all
FX.
right.
It's pretty popular right now.
Oh yeah, you know what? I think actually one of the main characters is modeled after one of the guys on the show. I
Yeah.
think I'm not positive, but anyways, when I use the word clunky, it's
Road
like
rash. with obstacles.
everything in this game is clunky. It's the brawler combat is clunky. The guns are clunky. Aiming, the bikes are clunky. The other vehicles, you get to drive a vehicle a couple different times. Even your player character, you can see it a little bit here. The movement is clunky. I'm trying to aim with the mouse. I eventually got used to it.
Is this you playing?
No, this isn't me playing. This is somebody else. But you can see here, he's just kind of going at it, and he's getting it from every angle here, and it's just this is a good thing to point out.
You can knock that guy's hat off.
It's difficult to actually switch enemies. Like you'll be fighting a guy, and it's difficult to change your focus from one enemy to the next.
Yeah.
So what you saw right here, that's a rage attack. So you've got you've got a rage attack that the main character Jake can use. And,
really spins around.
Yeah, if you do that, it kicks off this like kind of insta kill thing, but you still have to go through all the motions with the QTE. So let's see, what else did I have?
How's the sound?
The sound is all right. I mean, the soundtrack has it's just generic like rock
Nickelback,
music.
Creed.
It's really generic. And that's getting to my point about everything just
All
being,
of Jeff's
really,
favorites.
really budget sound, budget animation, budget gameplay.
Yeah.
I
do like how that in that gas station scene though, the what was his name? Hot Pepper or whatever from Streets of Rage 2 is there. The fat guy.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
There's like 10 of those guys.
I know, but they all have a different name. That's why I can't think of one specific name.
He just makes that noise like
So in terms of everything just being budget, a good example is, as you can see, the character models. Everything is just, all the NPCs are recycled.
Eat an apple.
The girls especially.
So what was good about the game though?
I'm getting to that.
All right, it's a long list.
I'm getting to that. Yeah, I want to get all the complaints out of the way.
Is there anything good about this game?
Well, let's see. Yeah, we talked about the range attack. Yeah, just in terms of everything being budget, like the girls in particular in this game, they just have this really vacant look on their faces the whole time. It's like not a whole lot of effort was.
Well,
put into
we've
it.
gotten used to a lot of facial characterization, or how you want it, a lot of emotional expression through faces in games lately, and it's when you see it not there, you suddenly are like, whoa, this looks like crap, you know what I mean? But like 8 years ago, nothing had that. Everybody looked that way,
Yeah, but it's not that unusual. Any girl that I've ever dated has that vacant look at her.
Of course.
Yeah, so it's not. I think they captured it perfectly.
I think that's you though, Tom. That's not.
That's just me.
That's not an accurate slice of the population.
No, this game
That's
looks
so
pretty
weird.
realistic.
And so yeah, again, everything is very budget. One thing they do to stretch the playtime out is they just throw waves and waves of enemies at you. It gets really boring, especially if you're
Snag some drugs.
if you're brawling. Like there's a shooting part here that's you're gonna see in a minute. But if you're brawling the enemies, it just takes forever. And if you got to fight all these waves that just keep throwing at you, it gets super boring. One thing I found out though is if this can help you save some time. If I eventually figured out after playing this, you can just use some of these guys, like right here. This guy's going to try and run up and attack you because, he's got a gun. But
It is quite jumpy.
The enemies that don't have guns, they'll run up and try to fight you, but you can force the game. Like, you can just shoot everybody, and that cuts down the time a lot. So when you're dealing with just waves and waves of guys, you can chop about half your playthrough of a level down if you just shoot everybody. And I thought that, it is cheating a little bit, so you can cheese the game that way. But
I feel like it's cheating if you're just using a weapon in the
yeah,
game.
but the way they do it is weird. Like when you're supposed to be doing what you can tell when they intended you to be doing a brawling section, the guys will run up and try to fight you, and you immediately switch to a melee weapon if the guys are close to you. So what you can do is you can
I think
force.
like even right here, there's like environmental kill
There is,
signs
yeah.
like all over the place. They're supposed to use those
Yeah.
instead of just shooting everybody.
Right, but that's what I'm saying. You can force yourself to back away, pull a gun out, and just shoot everybody, which is not how they. It's obvious it's not
They
how they
didn't
expect you to
intend
play
for
it.
it?
But yeah,
At least they left that in there.
So
But-
the AI is not very good.
that's what I'm getting at. So if like,
Seems like it's easy to get some headshots on it.
And as long as you have enough ammo. If you have enough ammo, you can
Right.
do this. But it does feel kind of cheap. You know,
It's really jumpy.
the story is just totally run of the mill. So the story is essentially that this devil's hand biker gang kills the main character Jake here, kills his family right at the beginning of the story. So Jake has to hunt down every one of these gang bosses and kill them all, and like that's it. That's the entire story. So you know, nothing super compelling there. You know, I'll mention a couple issues I had with the gameplay. There was this aiming issue I had when I was near cover.
You still haven't gotten to the positives yet.
I'm getting to it. This game has a cover. It's Unreal Engine 3, so of course they got a cover system. But I had this weird issue where I wouldn't get into cover, but I would get close to it and I'd try to aim, and the game would like pull you back. Like, this is they're showing. This is the trading actually. You pick up drugs and you get to you sell all these drugs back to this other guy, and that's how you get money. This game is like
breath.
completely disconnected. It's just everything is all over the place, and you can tell this game was supposed to be an open world game before, but they so anyways.
It's Big Mother Truckers.
This crazy aiming issue I had though, like I'd be close to cover and the game would just zoom you out. Like if you're not in cover but you're close to it, I'd be trying to aim at guys and it would just zoom me out. It was a complete nightmare.
Yeah.
The cover system in general is just very inconsistent. Sometimes you can, if you're in cover, you can move back and forth. Sometimes, but not all the time. Sometimes it doesn't let you. It's just you got to just overall everything is very budget, and there's an overall lack of polish on everything. So, you know, overall...
Yep, all positive.
Yeah, I was just even like looking at like the landscapes from the video footage, and just like you said, it's just very, very budget.
Yeah.
Budget.
All right, so
Looks
finally,
fun.
let's get to the parts that I did like. You know, I did like the
We still haven't got to that yet.
The what?
You said you didn't get to those
That's what I
yet?
said.
Yeah,
No,
like,
I-
it was like 5 minutes ago. You were like, all right, now we're going to talk about
You
some
like
things
the
I-
driving session, but I'm looking at this.
Giving
this
Tom an emotional.
No, this
program.
actually
Got
truck,
the
it
Mad
looks
Max
really-
tribute level
this
here.
Crappy.
It wasn't bad. Some of that is because of the footage, but this,
It's really
that thing handles. Yeah, it is very stiff.
And it
But
moves
this-
really fast
They
from side to
mix.
side.
They do mix it up a little bit. And the thing is, with these driving stages are dragged out a lot as well. Like I mentioned, just waves and waves of enemies. This is where the game, I think, it's artificially, you know, padded.
They
with
add
this
time
type
to it
of
just
stuff.
by
yeah,
making the
so it's
missions
just you got to
long.
fight tons of enemies, or you got to do this driving stage for like 20 minutes when it could have been like 5 or 8 tops, and it still would have been fine. But yeah, you know, I did like some of the driving. The bike riding is cool. If you want to customize your bike, there's actually a ton of stuff you can get. There's more customization options for your bike than you would expect. But the stupid thing is, it doesn't do anything. It doesn't affect how the bike works. It doesn't affect anything on
There's
the bike.
no
It's just-
actual upgrade?
it's just visual. So
Wow.
so that's kind of stupid. You can unlock new.
It's like when you can paint your car in a racing game.
you can unlock new paint colors, but again, it
So
doesn't
what?
affect anything. Like I said too, you can definitely tell that this game was supposed to be open world. There's a lot of environments that are fully built out, but the game railroads you into where you're supposed to go for the story, and that's it. Like if you try to move off the story path, it pushes you back in. So, you know, I'm gonna say that it's kind of sad because it was intended to be something else, but it probably should have remained canceled, which it was. I think at least once, maybe possibly several times. It would have done better if it was released 5 years ago, but you know that's.
And this is a console game?
Yeah, this is PC, PlayStation 3, and 360.
Full price
What-
kind of game, or?
No, I believe it's like $39
I was
or
gonna
maybe
say.
maybe even a little bit cheaper.
Doesn't
But
look bad.
some people were
$59
people
for
were
that one.
people were upset with it even at that price.
Yeah.
So yeah, overall,
Yeah.
I'll wrap it up. I'm gonna only recommend this game if you can get it for a couple bucks, and there's nothing else to play. Or you know, if you really like games about biker gangs and biker dudes, so it is. I mean, it is a.
I was gonna say, they should have renamed it to like Sons of Anarchy, the game, and probably
Yeah,
sold
probably.
ton of
Yeah,
copies.
got the license.
Yeah.
I feel like
for
there
it.
is
No,
one.
You
isn't
said it was better than like many of the reviewers gave it. What would you give it?
Yeah, well, that's what I was saying. I would give it at least a 5 because it is a complete game. There's nothing super broken with it. It is a complete
Sounds
story.
like there is.
It's very disjointed. I mean, there's parts where it'll just be sitting there like, oh, okay, what the heck happened? But it is a complete thing. There's nothing that prevents you from playing it, or there's nothing that like really ruins the entire thing. It's just overall very
just
low
mediocre.
quality.
Poor quality,
Yes,
yeah.
very very low quality, unfortunately.
Okay.
Budget Bikers, the game. That was coined
Budget
by Sergeant
bikers.
Ski.
Budget
Sergeant Ski said that they should call the game Budget Bikers.
Not a bad idea.
There you go.
Yeah.
Also, the chat has decided that the word of the day is budget.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, that was my intention. That was my intention putting this putting
the
these
screen
notes
right
together. That's how I would describe it.
Well played, chat room.
Yes.
Just like Jeff's wardrobe. Budget.
Clunky and budget.
Hey,
Clunky
Absolutely.
this is an official WWE
Clunky
shirt. There's
wardrobe.
nothing budget about it.
It's official.
It's official.
It's
It's
ill-
official.
ill-
It's a shirt.
It's authentic.
Ill-fitting
But-
wardrobe. Budget wardrobe.
It does. I wore my Star Wars shirt yesterday.
Okay. But you're not on TV yesterday. Or a screen of some sort.
Okay.
Yeah, class it up.
Let's wrap this up.
Oh,
Some
next
people
game.
also mentioned that this is the worst. Well, the worst game of the year, but more additionally, worst game of this console cycle or of this generation. I can understand that. I would say for me, definitely the worst game I've played all year. You know, it takes the cake for that. I don't know about. There's some pretty broken Kinect games and other stuff out there.
I
so.
did purchase.
Kinect games are-
What was that
that's a
Burger
weird
King
game.
game?
What about
Sneak
Sneak
King.
King? Yeah.
I did purchase Sneak
That
King
came
for
out on the
Xbox
360,
for
yeah.
360. So
That
I don't
game's
know.
good.
Yeah,
That's a good game.
I'm willing to name it worst game I've played this year. Sadly, it does earn itself that title, but worst game of the entire console generation. I don't know. So
I'd
so
have
there
to say
you go.
Hotline Miami.
Yeah.
So there you
Come
go.
I would have to say Guacamelee.
But the best game,
Ride to Hell Retribution. If you like biker games or biker gang games,
I think this is a don't bother.
just play
It's an
Booger
adult.
Man.
pretty much.
Just play Booger Man, guys.
All right.
Honestly, do yourselves a favor. Just stop playing your new systems. Play Booger Man. Stop watching our show and go play Booger Man. Stop it. Just stop it, everybody. Just stop it, okay?
You get to fly with farts powered by chili peppers.
Cling
Come
tenaciously to my buttocks.
So there you go. Ride to Hell
Powdered
Retribution.
Toast Man could be.
Let's move on. The other game we're gonna just touch on this week is Shadowrun Returns. Go ahead. I didn't play this, so take it away.
Jeff and I played it. Did you play it?
No.
Did Nick play it?
No.
Did Xander play it?
Nope.
So Jeff,
Here we are.
here we go.
I've never even heard of this.
You've
up.
never heard of anything.
You haven't heard of it, dude. This is
You
not,
were too busy playing Batman and Robin and
Dude,
losing.
This game exists
Whatever.
in like 5
It's
different
been around
versions
since
already.
the 80s. It's like a board game.
Yeah.
And
I know. I played the
No,
Sega Genesis.
I played the Super
We played
Nintendo
the-
one.
we'll
And
let
they,
you have
they,
it back
they
in the car.
remade the one for like Xbox,
Yeah,
like way
well,
back.
yeah, there was an
and
Xbox
stuff.
So,
one.
quick
Right.
introduction. If you don't know, Shadowrun is a pen and paper RPG set in like a future like cyberpunk setting with
There we go.
fantasy elements because you have the whole hacking and like.
It's a little cross genre kind
But
of.
you got orcs and elves in it, and there's
Yeah.
some magic.
This looks cool.
Yeah,
very
it is
cool setting.
The animation in this
Um,
is much better than the old
Very
one.
Fallout.
Yeah,
A little bit.
Yes,
classic.
very, very much like that. They made there was a Super Nintendo and a Sega game,
Yeah.
and they
Sega
made one for
Genesis.
Xbox and PC that was like a team-based shooter, had really nothing to do with the genre. It was
Yeah.
dumb. This is back in style with the pen and paper game. It's fun if you like turn-based like strategic like combat RPGs. You'll like it. I think you'd really enjoy it. And if you like
It's not
Cyberpunk.
strategy heavy either.
No,
it's sort of
the combat reminds me of the new
easy to get
XCOM.
into. Yeah.
So if you like
Yeah.
that, if you like a more simplified version of that, you would
Yeah.
enjoy this. It's more about like the setting and the story and the dialogue.
Definitely.
I will say the campaign that comes with it is fun. It's kind of a cool like
a mystery.
mystery
It's a
noir
good-
style
yeah, definitely.
story. But the game's more about the fact that it has a custom toolkit, and I think the game's fun now. I think it's going to be better a year from now once the community gets there, like really digs into it and makes a bunch of custom.
It's an
campaigns.
electronic version of the original game, I think.
Essentially, that's what it is.
Basically
Exactly,
what
it's a
it
toolkit, so you're not going to play the pen and paper game by yourself. But this
Right.
is you can play like all those campaigns
Right.
on this game.
Download other people's.
And someone's remaking the
levels
Super
and
Nintendo
stuff.
game, so that's going to be awesome.
That'll be cool.
What console is this for, Jeff?
It's PC.
This is
It's
a
just PC.
computer game.
Is it Mac as well, or just
Yeah,
PC?
it is. It is Mac
Yeah.
as well.
It looks pretty sweet.
Yeah. Generally, games like this you can get on the Mac because they're not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It looks like something I might play.
It's not
It's,
very.
and it's. I think the animation is great. The
looks
the
like
art is really
crap.
good, huh? Looks like crap from the back corner cave of the room.
Shut up, Josh. 2.0.
Wait a minute.
Shut up, Josh Lloyd.
So, I liked it quite a bit, and I wasn't totally sure as to what it was going to be because I played the originals. Well, not the original. I shouldn't say. I started a
The
character
first
on the
video
board
game incarnation.
and I played the Sega games and the Super Nintendo when they came out. I can't remember which is which, and I played them more recently on emulators. And I had been meaning all this week to compare them, and I never got a chance to. But from what I recall, this is much more smooth. You don't die as easily. It's not as resource dependent. I remember I couldn't get through one run and the other one because I ran out of bullets before I could even get out of the room. You know what I mean? And
I can't speak too much on the Sega game, but the Super Nintendo game was very difficult.
And I think I'm maybe remembering the Sega one as well.
It's good. This game has some music that reminds me of the Super Nintendo one, but that's one thing I wish, at least in this main campaign, I haven't played a custom campaign yet, so maybe it'll be different. Yeah, it just came out, but I'm hoping the music's a little bit more involved in the campaign that comes with. It's called Dead Man's Switch. There's some tunes that sound like the Super Nintendo game, but they're a little kind of more in the background.
Reminded me a little of Evangelist too. It has that Blade Runner feel.
Oh
to
yeah,
it. You know what I mean?
It's kind of like the look that they seem like they're going
and
for.
a little at the same time a little bit Mass Effect kind of like.
Yeah, I could see that. I could see that.
You know, it's got that.
Well, if you're a fan of Mass Effect or any of the newer games, you get the custom the branching dialogue in this as well. So. That's definitely fun.
You can play it good, you can play it bad,
and
get karma points, or you can just rag on people and give them a hard time.
Yeah. What class are you playing as?
I am a troll, rigger.
Troll rigger. What's a rigger?
Riggers will using a brain jack kind of implant control.
So like
a Doberman. It's called a Doberman. So it's basically like a bomb diffusing robot with a rifle on it, and you move it around separately of yourself. But when you have it engaged, you don't use any other weapons. You can only select one weapon at a time to fight with during your turn. So you can switch between melee or range combat, or with the rigger you can use this robot. So you send the robot around the corner to the guy, and it's basically like adding a character. You can hide behind some cover and work on some people, and if the robot gets killed, which it's pretty durable, it lasts for a while. I didn't get blown away or anything. It's not chintzy. You know what I mean? It's not like when you it's not disposable. One hit. You know what I mean? You get one. You can upgrade it. You can add weapons. You can change the weapon that's on it. You can add armor and things like that. So that's sort of like a Decker, but more of
that's the other thing about this game. It's customizable. Obviously, there's going to be custom campaigns, but just in the main game,
character.
Yeah. There's how many classes are there? 5.
There's humans. There's elves.
Well, there's the races. Yeah, there's
the races, right?
Humans, elves, orcs, dwarves, trolls. I'm probably missing something. And then there's the classes. I'm personally playing an elf. That's a street samurai, which is a very gun oriented.
Yeah.
But I also.
Just a fighter. It's basically your fighter class.
Yeah, well, there's the adept too, which is like a physical, kung fu fighter. There's a bunch of different classes, and you can kind of mix and match too. You can make your own custom class if you want to get a little bit more advanced. But even I pick the street samurai, but I still put points in other things. Like I put points into decking.
You can sort of do whatever,
which is
you
like
want.
the hacking in the game. Yes, because that's another thing.
Even beyond your class,
you can hack computers, go into the matrix.
At the very beginning too, you don't have to choose a class. You can just say, I want to choose whatever I want.
Exactly, when you can do that. So.
Yeah, there's a shaman, which is like your magic user.
And there's a mage too. There's a shaman, which is like a support class. Mage is more the offensive magic class. But even that you can mix and match. So basically, when it comes down to
pretty nerdy game.
Yes, if you like,
it looks pretty crazy.
It looks great, and it's easy to sort of just sit there and play for a while. It's comfortable to play. The control is pretty good. You can do almost everything with just the mouse. Mm-hmm. Where in Warcraft you want to kind of jump around a map, but with this you just you can use your arrow keys, but you pretty much get more or less your entire screen is your field of vision, especially in lit areas.
It's definitely a relaxing RPG to play. It has a very old school appeal with the turn-based combat. You
can think about it.
But it's very customizable too, so you can kind of play it the way you want to.
Right. My complaints were that the soundtrack was sort of limited. Mm-hmm. I wish there was. I guess because of the way the game is set up, because it's set up for custom levels and custom campaigns, you can't have this. But I wish there was more either environmental sound or some voice acting. You know what I mean?
No, I know.
But that's just me.
I mean, who knows?
And
Maybe
then
they can find a way to
The
put that
combat
in.
animations were really weak.
That's
So you shoot a guy and it's like, phew, and the bullet goes, but there's no like impact. There's no visceral connection to what just happened. You
Yeah.
melee a guy and you meleeed him.
it's very.
And then he goes,
um,
you know,
Back,
back
I
a
guess
little
back
bit,
to our word of the day, budget. I mean, the game was a Kickstarter. It's why I think this
Was it a Kickstarter?
It was a
I
Kickstarter.
didn't
This
know
is one of
that.
the first Kickstarter games I've played. I've been
Wow.
following for a while because I was psyched in these Shadowrun was coming out. Graphics, they're very passable, but
I like them. They're nice
you
and
know,
clean.
The environments I think look good. The character models are very, they're all right. And then, like you're saying, animations, nothing to write home about, but it gets the point
You can
across.
see it here as they fight.
And-
It's sort of just kind of like, I whack you.
It's well, and again, it's like we're saying, it's more like a pen and paper game. You
Yeah.
get your set pieces and you
Yeah,
get your
it's
range of attack
definitely-
and movement.
It feels a lot like that,
Yes,
too.
feel like an
Without having to
electronic
paint your characters.
exactly, an electronic tabletop game. Again, anyone who likes like RPG with some customization and
Right.
wants pretty much unlimited content once the community gets into it, I would recommend it. I think the game's $20.
Yep, $20 on
So-
Steam.
I mean, the main campaign's fun enough. You can create your own stuff on it, and there's sure to be a lot of more campaigns coming in.
It'll
Like
get
I
pretty
said,
good.
there's already 2 teams working on a remake of the SNES and the Sega Genesis game
Both
that are
of them.
being made. Yes, they're actually 2 interconnected teams, so we're going to be seeing those soon. And of course, there's just going to be a whole slew of original content for it. So
And you
Worth
give it a...
I give it a.
If you like that type of game, buy
I
it.
give it a buy.
It's
Buy,
not too
definitely.
expensive. I think it was a good game. I think people who are into that sort of genre as well would like it. And I think it'll get better if you haven't gotten into those games yet. It's a good way to sort of...
Ease your way into it.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
a good way to get into a game like Shadowrun without having to buy the tabletop set and all your pieces and all your stuff and getting a bunch of friends together.
Getting a bunch of friends together
you
and
have to
getting a
have a
bunch
lot
of
of
friends to
people-
read the rules.
Right,
And it's
then
good
have a
at-
game master. It's complicated, so it's
So
a
it's
good way
good
to
at-
get
so
into
it's
that
good
sort
at-
of
so
stuff.
tried,
basically
it's
what
too
you're-
hard.
what you're-
Yeah, it's tough.
So what you're saying is it's good if you don't have any. It's good if you don't have any friends.
Yep.
And you're lazy.
And you can't even make friends with other nerds.
Yeah. So
You're
it's
definitely
perfect.
gonna like
It's
this
not
game.
that easy, okay?
It's good. It was good. It's a good game. Definitely a buy it if it's your thing. I can't say buy it because most people.
If you don't like, if you don't
it's
like,
definitely a.
if you
a
don't like
genre
straight up
specific.
RPGs, there's no action. I mean, there's combat, but it's not action.
It's a lot of reading.
Exactly. If you don't like straight up RPGs, you won't like it. But if you're an RPG fan, especially like old school RPGs, like I said, Fallout's, Wasteland, even the old Baldur's Gate, or if you like pen and paper games, you will enjoy this, and it's definitely worth the $20.
Awesome.
Nice.
Very cool.
So
we
that's
go.
all we can tell you about that.
Shadowrun Returns. Well, that's going to wrap it up, I think. We've reached the end of the show here.
No.
Yeah, sorry, we have to go. Guys, Dragon's Crown is coming out next week, so we're
Oh
we're
yeah,
definitely
that's
How
what
do you
I'm
feel about that
talking
one,
about.
Jeff?
Oh yeah.
Yeah!
Yeah,
gonna be
Dragon's
all over
Crown.
that. Tom and I checked it out at E3. It looked amazing. It's going to be awesome.
It's
so
a side scroller.
we'll,
Our
we'll
friend,
be-
our
we'll
friend
be
George
checking it out.
is loving that game.
What? What
Our friend George is loving this game.
Oh yeah. We'll put our footage up on there. We'll run it again next time. We'll see.
So we got Dragon's Crown and also Tales of Xillia. If you're a fan of the Tales franchise, that's also coming out next week.
Never heard of it.
You don't like good
This
games.
is getting
Shut
to be
up.
a thing. This is a thing.
Never heard of it.
But that's coming out.
Never
That's
heard of that
actually the early reviews I've been saying one of the best JRPGs to come out in a while. Of course, you've been hearing that about Xenoblade, Ni no Kuni, and now this. But those games lived up, so we'll see about this.
I've seen a little bit of it. It looks
so
good.
hopefully in a few weeks, if I can get it and get through it in time, we'll be talking about that. Let's not forget the game called Life. The game called Life.
We're living
Yes,
that.
kids,
We're playing it
remember,
right now.
Physical.
Take a break from your video games. Go outside.
Guys, check out our website at
watching. Go do something.
GameSlean.tv. Like us on Facebook, please. We need your likes. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Follow us on Twitter at GameSlean. Any other final thoughts?
Boogerman
Boogerman.
rules.
Give it up for the chat. The conversation. I mean, that's what I'm talking about.
What are you saying? I didn't hear you.
Oh, the chat.
Keep it going. That's true.
Boogerman,
Fury.com.
Wire the money to our grave.
Guys, thanks for joining us. Keep playing. We'll see you next time on GameSlean.
Go to GameSlean.tv for more.
Jam that turbo.
Disclaimer at the end.
Jam that turbo gun.